Ever wondered what it'd be like to commute on a full suspension bike? I have, and I may have the answer for you. The idea of actually using a bike that has full suspension on to commute on has actually been on my mind before, several years ago now, when I only had a couple of bikes. The bike that I was using for commuting had an issue and couldn't ride it, so I stuck some slicks on my full sus mountain bike and used that instead, and it was a lot of fun. Roads in the UK and in London have lots and lots of big holes in them, so they're really bumpy, so using a full sus bike made it super comfortable. The only downfall, and the only reason I only did it once, was because the gear ratio was so low. It was designed for going up mountain biking hills and stuff, and I just was pedaling a lot and getting nowhere. Fast forward a few years and I get contacted from a company called Himiway, and they said they had a brand new bike that was designed to be the most comfortable commuter going. It did loads of miles and distance and stuff, and it had full suspension. And as soon as I read that part, I said, yes please, send me a full suspension commuter. So this is the Himiway A7 Pro. It's a mid-drive e-bike with about 80 miles range, and like I mentioned before, it has full suspension. Oh, also it comes with Strawberry Super Moto X tyres, which I've been dying to try for ages, so that was a win. It comes with pretty much everything attached already. All I had to do is put the handlebars on them. The actual stem has the computer in, which was hella cool. The front wheel, had to put that on there, which had a through axle. It's also boost as well, so it's super stable and just all round awesome and massive. Hydraulic brakes as well, and the group set is like a Shimano something, I forget what it says it is, but it's 9 speeds, so it's got loads of range and you can pretty much ride it anywhere you want. But after getting all the wrapping on there, which was super good because it protects this awesome colour, I put the front fender on, and that is it. That's everything. What do you think of the colour?
Hang on. Ooh, I love the colour. That's very me.
You're not having it. It's not for you.
Oh.
It's for me.
Oh, well, why are you showing it to me then?
That's just a nice colour, isn't it?
It is a really nice colour. I really like it. Good colour for me.
So I've actually been riding this bike for quite a few weeks now, and it's kind of become a little bit of a daily treat. The actual e-power, the pedal assist on this thing, because it's got the mid motor on it, it is a little bit more kind of more of an assist than a lot of the e-bikes that are on the market. A lot of e-bikes you get these days have just a big drum on the back wheel or the front wheel, and it's kind of like power or no power, power or no power, where at least with this it feels like I'm still riding a bike. It literally just assists you. Anybody who's ridden a proper e-bike with a Bosch motor or like something like mid-drive essentially knows that there is a real there's such thing as pedal assist, and then there's just like e-bikes that you see people tearing around the streets on, which are rubbish. Before I go into the full suspension, because let's face it, that is the whole point of this bike and what I really do love about this, there's a couple of things. The actual seat post it's got a dropper post on it, basically, is what I'm trying to get at, which is one of those things, I was talking to someone about this recently, is a dropper post makes sense in mountain biking. You want to get it out of the way so you can do something technical, tricky, whatever it might be, but it also makes so much sense when you're constantly stopping at traffic lights. If you've got a bike that, you know, not necessarily the fact that you can't reach the ground, you should be able to reach the ground, but more often than not on a bike that fits you correctly, you're going to be just on your little tippy toes and stuff like that. So being able to like lower yourself and be comfortable at traffic lights and wherever it might be, or even if you just got yourself a load of shopping and you're having all these bags and you just have the seat a little bit lower for a little while, it just makes sense having a dropper on a commuter. And if I could find some that are more vintage style seat posts or sizes, all my bikes have had dropper posts on them. Talking about the shopping and things, it's got a really sturdy rack. I can't remember exactly how much it can carry now, but it's pretty much strong enough for anything you'd need it to be strong enough for. And the tyres, I absolutely adore. They're really, really grippy considering they are reasonably slick. There's not a lot going on there, and they're really fast rolling. So I definitely think I'm gonna get some in 26. I think they do it in 26. Hopefully they do it in 26. So the thing that I think a lot of you probably clicked on this video for, is it worthwhile getting a full suspension bike to commute on? Possibly. So I think there's a couple of pros and cons. The pros are obviously that it's super comfortable. With this bike in particular, the actual shocks themselves are not just entry-level shocks, which I'll be honest with you, when they said they were sending me a full suspension bike, a lot of e-bikes have suspension on them. It's entry-level stuff, it's rubbish. It's all Sun-Tour. I'm not sure what the rear shock is. It might be Sun-Tour, I think it's unmarked, but both of them are air shocks, so you can change the amount of air that are in them depending on the terrain that you're riding on. So what I've actually done is I have it quite firm. It definitely has some give and some movement when I'm riding the bike, but being the fact that a lot of the roads that I'm going across are quite smooth and just straight and long, I do want a little bit of rigidness. Whoa, what's the word I'm looking for there? Rigid. Stiffness? I don't know what the word is. Stiff. I want the suspension to be reasonably stiff. But if you're riding around the countryside where the potholes are even bigger, maybe even doing a bit of gravel, and I've ridden this off-road as well, by the way, and the tyres are obviously still a little bit slick, but like, it laps it up. The suspension is actually really good on it, and it's super, super comfortable to ride. But if you are out in the countryside, yes, you probably would let some of that air out, have it a little bit more plush, a little bit more squishy, and then, yeah, tear around wherever you're tearing around. The cons are pretty much only really depending on the person that's riding it, really. It's mainly the fact that a suspension bike on roads generally is going to be slower than a bike with no suspension. Every time you kind of go through bumps and stuff like that, you are losing a little bit of that pace with the suspension going like that. Obviously, if you have the suspension set up by some race mechanic, maybe that wouldn't be the same. But if you're doing it yourself with a pump in the garden, it's probably going to reduce some of the speed. So if you are someone who is trying to get King of the Hill, you probably aren't going to want to ride a full suspension bike or an e-bike at that point, and it wouldn't be for you. But anybody who's looking for something that's super comfortable and just really just like kind of like the best way to describe this, very similar to my wheelie video that if you might have seen recently, Val talked about the fact that it was like the position of it was kind of like a chair.
Yeah. It feels like I'm literally sitting on a chair.
This feels like a normal bike when you're sat on it, but because it's so plush and comfy as you go across the road, it feels like you're riding your armchair to work. So if you're someone who is just around for just chilling and just wants to get from A to B nice and easily and comfortable, like, this bike is for you. So taking us back to the question that started this video, what is it like to commute on a full suspension bike? And the short answer is, like an armchair. It's super, super comfortable, and you just cruise on in. The fact that this is an e-bike as well means that basically I've spent the last couple of weeks just cruising on into central London and full on chilling. I've not actually ridden it every day because it's too easy, so I have been commuting on my the Ultimate Commuter, which if you've not seen that video, I'll link that down below, where I turn a 26-inch mountain bike into the Ultimate Commuter. But yeah, I rate it. It's so much fun. It's super comfortable. If you are in the market for something like this, I'll put the link down below so you can go check it out. But yeah, it's a super fun bike. Everything on it is decent, it's good components, and yeah, all-round enjoyable experience. So if you're new to the channel through this video, what we usually do is a lot of restoration and modifying old retro bikes, but we also do reviews and product demonstrations and things like that as well. So there's lots of different content we do, but it's all bike based. So if you're a bike person, you like bikes, this is the subscribe button. Give that a little tap and you can join the channel. It's completely free, and we do videos at least once a week, but at the moment we're doing them a few times a week. Like that one there. You should watch it. It's a particularly good one.